5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And liftoff.
Girls pitching downrange.
Stage 1 chamber pressure is nominal.
We're just about 40 seconds into flight. Falcon 9 clearing the tower at Space Launch Complex 40 and making its way to orbit. We are currently throttling down the Merlin 1D engines on the first stage in preparation for the point of max Q. That's the point of maximum aerodynamic pressure.
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
Maximum aerodynamic pressure is the point when the highest stresses are experienced by the vehicle during the ascent.
You can see now, this is an aft camera view from the drop. So we have, it looks to be a successful ignition of the stage 1 engine as we make our way to space.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power. And liftoff of Falcon 9. Go Falcon, go OneWeb 2.
Pitching downrange.
Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Pad 40 at Cape Canaveral, carrying the OneWeb Launch 16 mission payload. Now, during ascent, we tilt the engines, which is what we call gimbaling.
Power and telemetry.
That turns the rocket horizontally, which is what we call a gravity turn. And we're still going up, but we are now also heading horizontally away from the launch pad.
Vehicle supersonic.
Moments ago, we did throttle down the engines on the first stage in preparation for max Q, which is coming up here in a few seconds.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engine full power. And liftoff of USSF-67. Go Falcon Heavy, go Space Force. Booster chamber pressures are nominal.
T plus 40 seconds into flight under the power of 5 million pounds of thrust.
Power and telemetry nominal.
Falcon Heavy is headed to space. Now, we did throttle down the engines around the T plus 40 second
Vehicle
mark
supersonic.
in preparation for max Q.
Max Q.
And great call out there that we have passed through max Q. That's the largest mechanical stress on the vehicle on ascent. And incredible, incredible views there on your screen. Falcon Heavy in flight.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power. And liftoff of Falcon 9. Go GPS, go Falcon.
Vehicle switching downrange.
Stage 1 chamber pressures nominal.
As you can see, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Pad 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, carrying the GPS-3 Space Vehicle 6 payload. M1D engines are about to throttle down in preparation for the maximum loads that the vehicle will experience. That'll occur just after T-minus 1 minute, known as max Q. During ascent, those M1D engines will actually swivel and help steer Falcon 9, a maneuver known as gimbaling.
Vehicle is supersonic.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power. And liftoff of Starlink 2-4. Go Falcon, go Starlink.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
At T plus 30 seconds, successful liftoff of Falcon 9 from Space Launch Complex 4 East at Vandenberg at 7:43 a.m. Pacific time. We had some fantastic views from the ground, and now we're looking at a great view
Nominal power
from
and
the
telemetry.
first stage's onboard camera as we pop through the cloud layer.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift up.
Electrons
Beginning
the pad,
pushover.
safe and ground systems.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
And liftoff of Electron from Launch Complex 2, leaving US soil for the first time and on its way to space up and over the Atlantic Ocean. All 9 Rutherford engines on Electron's first stage now propelling the rocket at more than 700 kilometers an hour. We are hearing good calls from the teams in Virginia and Rocket Lab Mission Control. A clean ascent for Electron, now nearly a minute into flight. You are looking at 56,000 pounds of maximum thrust from those stage 1 engines, but soon they'll be throttling down to support that pass to the maximum aerodynamic pressure point.
Cleared max Q.
H-IIA 種子島からおよそ1年ぶりの打ち上げです。H-IIA ロケット46号機が今宇宙へと飛び立っていきます。まばゆい光、そして大きな音とともにロケットが今空へと打ち上がりました。青い空にロケットが生えています。政府の情報収集衛星を搭載した H-IIA ロケット46号機が今宇宙へと飛び立っていきました。打ち上げから1分が経過しましたが、まだロケットをしっかりと目で捉えられる状況です。今日の種子島南種町は快晴です。青空の中、まだロケットの姿確認できます。
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power. And liftoff of Starlink 5-2. Go Falcon, go Starlink.
Pitching downrange.
As you can see, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Pad 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, carrying 56 Starlink satellites. Now, the M1D engines on the first stage are about to throttle down in preparation for max Q, or
Power and telemetry nominal.
Or the moment of maximum loads on the vehicle, which occurs just after T plus 1 minute.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power. And liftoff of Starlink 2-6. Go Falcon, go Starlink.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
M1D chamber pressure is nominal.
Now at T plus 30 flight, you can see Falcon 9 is fully lifted off from 4 East AM Pacific time.
Power and telemetry nominal.
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, ignition, 1, liftoff.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
T plus 40 seconds, you can see that Falcon 9 has now successfully lifted off from LC-39A at 2:58 a.m. Eastern Time.
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
Just heard the call out that Falcon 9 is supersonic, meaning that it is traveling faster than the speed of sound, around 1,200 kilometers per hour or 770 miles per hour.
We're at T plus 30 seconds into flight. Falcon 9 successfully lifting off from pad 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, and we're carrying the Amazonas Nexus payload on board. Now we've begun tilting the engine, that's called gimbaling, and we've begun to turn the rocket horizontally away from
Power
the
and telemetry
pad.
nominal.
That is called a gravity turn. And we're still going up, but we're also heading away horizontally from the launch pad.
Двигатели центрального и боковых блоков ракеты-носителя вышли на режим главной ступени тяги. 10. Параметры системы управления ракеты-носителя в норме. 15. 20. Двигатели первой и второй ступени работают нормально. 25. 30. Параметры конструкции ракеты-носителя в норме. 40. Стабилизация изделия устойчивая. 50. Давление в камерах двигателей в норме.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Beautiful launch of SSLV-II EOS-07 on a bright sunny morning.
प्रज्वलन और सफलतापूर्ण उत्थापन SSLV-II प्रोमोचकयान का अपनी उद्दिष्ट कक्षा की ओर SSLV-II EOS-7 मिशन.
We have confirmation from the Range Operations Director of the normal performance of Stage 1, which means close to 2,600 kilonewtons thrust. 87 tons of solid propellant burns for 115 seconds.
भारत के आज़ादी के अमृत महोत्सव को दर्शाता भारत का एक और महत्वपूर्ण मिशन दिन के उजाले में दूर तक दिखाई दे रहा है. बहुत से दर्शक आंखों देखा अनुभव लेने यहाँ उपस्थित हुए हैं. ये अपने आप में एक अविस्मरणीय अनुभव होता है. सभी की धड़कनें तेज.
Shato is in main auto.
Plus 1 minute.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power. And liftoff of Starlink 5-4.
Eagles pitching downrange.
If you're just joining us, we are at T plus 30 seconds, and Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Space Launch Complex 40 at 12:10 a.m. Eastern Time.
Power and telemetry nominal.
Falcon is supersonic.
With that call out, we hear that Falcon 9 is traveling faster than the speed of sound, around 770 miles per hour.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power and liftoff of Starlink Group 2-5. Go Falcon, go Starlink.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
M1D chamber pressure is nominal.
At T plus 35 seconds, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Vandenberg Space Launch Complex 4 East at 11:12 a.m. Pacific Time.
Power and telemetry nominal.
Minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power, and liftoff of Falcon 9 and Inmarsat. Go Falcon, go Inmarsat.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
Power and telemetry nominal.
We are just about a minute into flight, and Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from pad 40
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, carrying Inmarsat's I-6 F2 payload.
And engine sequence start has begun. Engine ignition confirmed. The engine's throttling up, now at full throttle. Turbo pumps at flight speed and liftoff. A new ride back to Earth for Rubio, Prokopiev, and Patelin takes aim on the International Space Station. "20 seconds into the flight, roll program confirmed. Engines reported to be operating normally from the blockhouse at Baikonur. 38 seconds into the flight. The Soyuz arcing out to the northeast. Good structural stability on the vehicle. Pressure in the tanks reported to be nominal. We're coming up on the 1-minute mark into the flight. Passing through maximum dynamic pressure. Flight reported to be going by the book, 1 minute, 20 seconds into the flight.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. And liftoff of 6-9.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
Stage 1 chamber pressures nominal.
If you're just joining us, we are T plus 30 seconds into our mission today, and Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Space Launch Complex 40 at 6:13 p.m. Eastern Time.
Power and telemetry is nominal.
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
With that call out, we hear that Falcon 9 is traveling faster than the speed of sound, around 770 miles per hour.
Ready for an on-time launch for the instantaneous
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power and liftoff of Crew 6. Go Dragon, go Falcon.
Now launching on Endeavour's fourth flight to the International Space Station. Vehicles pitching downrange, 1.7 million pounds of thrust provided by the 9 Merlin 1D engines on the first stage. Hearing good calls, stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
We're now at T plus 34 seconds into the 6th rotation international crew mission on board Dragon and Falcon 9.
Power and telemetry nominal.
Stage 1 throttle down.
So there we heard the call out indicating that the first stage engines will begin to throttle down in preparation for max Q, which is the moment of maximum aerodynamic pressure that the vehicle will experience during flight.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power and liftoff of Starlink. Go Falcon, go Starlink.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
At T plus 30 seconds, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Vandenberg Space Launch Complex 4 East at 10:38 a.m. Pacific Time.
Power and telemetry nominal. Falcon is supersonic.
With that call out, we've heard that Falcon 9 is traveling faster than the speed of sound.
Flight mode on.
Flight mode on.
加工品トーチ点火。
Hydrogen purge igniter on.
全システム準備完
All
了。
systems go for launch. Main engine start.
SLV-3 点火。リフトオフ。
Solid boosters ignition and lift off.
第1 3号搭載した H-3 ロケット天気1号機は2023年3月7日午前10時37分55秒に種子島宇宙センターから打ち上げられました。
We have a successful liftoff for A3 launch vehicle test flight with 803 from JAXA Tanegashima Space Center at 10:37:55 seconds a.m. on March 7th, 2023, Japan Standard Time.
打ち上げ以降、ロケットの管制は滝崎発射管制塔から滝崎総合司令塔に引き継がれています。
The operation control of A3 has been switched from launch control center to range control center.
ロケットは現在東南東方向の太平洋上へ飛行しています。
A3 is flying over Pacific Ocean to the east-southeast.
打ち上げ後1分が経過しました。
It's 1 minute into flight.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just full power. And liftoff, OneWeb 3.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
Nominal power and telemetry.
Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Pad 40 at Cape Canaveral, carrying the OneWeb Launch 17 payload. Now we're still going up, but we're also heading horizontally away from the launch pad. And coming up in just a few seconds here, we will be approaching the point of max Q. There we go, call out for that there.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power and liftoff of CRS-27. Go Falcon, go Dragon.
Falcon 9 soars off the launch pad. Dragon now on its way to the International Space Station with important new science experiments and crew supplies.
Stage 1 chamber pressure is nominal. Power and telemetry nominal.
39A in Florida. We're now coming up on our max Q in about 20 seconds or so, which is the point of maximum aerodynamic pressure the vehicle will go through during its flight.
Sonic.
Deluge activity.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
Beginning pitch over.
And we're flying. Our 34th Electron vehicle is in the air and on the way to orbit after lifting off from Launch Complex 2. You can see the exhaust from those 9 Rutherford engines glowing bright as they propel the vehicle with Capella's satellites to space. Now that Electron has left the pad, its next milestone is max Q, the moment when the density of the air around the vehicle and its acceleration through that air creates the maximum aerodynamic pressure that the vehicle will experience in flight. You'll hear Mission Control announce this milestone soon enough.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power, and liftoff from Starlink 2-8. Go Falcon, go Starlink.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
At T plus 30 seconds, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Vandenberg's Space Launch Complex 4 East at 12:26 p.m. Pacific Time. This is our 5th launch from Vandenberg just this year.
Power and telemetry nominal. Falcon 9 is supersonic.
With that call out, Falcon 9 is now traveling faster than the speed of sound.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Liftoff.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
T-minus 42 seconds into the mission, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from pad 40. And we are preparing for max Q, coming up in about 20 seconds. That is the moment in which the vehicle experiences the greatest amount of aerodynamic pressure. Everything looking good with vehicle performance and trajectory.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 1. Liftoff.
Terran 1 has cleared the tower.
Switch over maneuver starting. Launch pad facing.
Look at that blue fire!
headed downrange in an easterly direction over the Atlantic Ocean. Our next ascent milestone is max Q, around 80 seconds.
Terran 1 is supersonic. Get telemetry switch over at the ground station.
Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Beginning pitch over. Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
All right, T plus 32 seconds and our 35th Electron mission is off the pad and on its way to orbit. The next mission milestone will be max Q, when Electron experiences the most amount of mechanical stress as it heads skyward at the intersection of vehicle speed rising and air density dropping.
Electron is supersonic.
Max 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Engines full power and liftoff of Starlink. Go Falcon, go Starlink.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
At T plus 30 seconds, F9 has successfully lifted off from Space Launch Complex 40 from the Cape at 11:43 a.m. Eastern Time.
MOD Terran pressures are nominal.
Nominal power and telemetry.
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
You just heard the call out that Falcon 9 is supersonic, which means the vehicle is traveling faster than the speed of sound.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Plus 5 seconds.
Liftoff normal.
Here we have a majestic liftoff, 640 tons of powerhouse searing through the sky. Magnificent sight indeed.
जी हाँ, सफलतापूर्ण उत्थापन LVM-3M3 प्रमोचनयान का आकाश में गर्जना करता हुआ यह सबसे भारी रॉकेट है इसरो का.
First stage performance normal.
Here from the mission control center we can feel the vibrations of the launch.
दोनों S-200 बूस्टर्स सामान्य निष्पादन करते हुए और यान अपनी उद्दिष्ट कक्षा की ओर.
Sharon is in Minato. 5,952 kilonewtons in vacuum
Sharp
with
to main attack.
S200 motors thrusting currently.
1 minute.
S200 मोटर जो कि ठोस नोदक पर आधारित चरण है।
At 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, liftoff. Vehicle is pitching downrange.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
At T plus 33 seconds, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Space Launch Complex 40 in Cape Canaveral, Florida at 4:01 p.m. Eastern Time. Next major milestone coming up is max Q, which is the point where the vehicle experiences the greatest amount of external stresses as it ascends through the atmosphere.
Minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition and liftoff of FTA. Go FTA, go Falcon.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
We're now at T plus 40 seconds into the Space Development Agency Tranche 0 mission. Falcon 9 has...
Power and telemetry nominal.
Falcon 9 has throttled down its engines in preparation for max Q, which is coming up here in just about 20 seconds or so. Max Q is the point at which the vehicle experiences the
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
The greatest amount of aerodynamic pressure, the largest structural load on the vehicle on ascent.
Max Q.
Great news, we have passed through max Q.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition, engines full power, and liftoff of Intelsat 40E. Go Intelsat, go Falcon.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
M1D chamber pressure nominal.
If you're just joining us, those gorgeous views on your screen mean that Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Pad 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station.
Nominal power and telemetry.
The call out there that nominal power and telemetry for the vehicle. During this phase, which is called ascent, we tilt the engines. The technical term for this is called gimbaling, and that turns the rocket horizontally in what we call a gravity turn.
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
There's a call out that Falcon 9 is now traveling faster than the speed of sound.
À tous EDV, attention pour le décompte final. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, top. Allumage Vulcain. Allumage EAP, décollage. La propulsion est nominale.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition, engines full power, and liftoff of Transporter 7. Go Falcon, go Transporter.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
Stage 1 propulsion nominal.
T plus 30 seconds into flight, and Falcon 9 has cleared the tower at Space Launch Complex 4 East. We're currently throttling down the engines in preparation for Max Q. Max Q is the maximum...
Nominal power and telemetry.
Max Q is the maximum aerodynamic pressure that the vehicle will see on ascent. That's the largest structural load on the vehicle.
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
Good call-outs there, and we are coming up on Max Q in just a few seconds from now.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff.
Vehicle pitching downrange.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
T plus 30 seconds into flight, and Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Space Launch Complex 40 at 8:50 a.m. Eastern Time.
Power and telemetry nominal.
And we are throttling down the engines in preparation for Max Q.
Vehicle supersonic.
T-minus 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, ignition.
Raptor chamber pressure is nominal.
T+33 seconds into the test flight of the inaugural Starship vehicle. Tower cleared, we're into pitch over. Propulsion reports first stage engines nominal. What a sight from the ground cameras at Starbase. We're flying at twice the thrust of the Saturn V heading to space.
Acquisition of signal, Corpus Christi.
We're throttled down and throttled back up. Going through the period of maximum aerodynamic pressure. As the velocity increases, the density of the atmosphere is decreasing.
Max Q.
Lessening stress on the vehicle. The call out, Max Q now. Continuing to watch the first stage as we head downrange. A 100 seconds into flight. Our next major activity is going to be shutdown of the first stage. The Houston tracking station now acquiring the vehicle. With shutdown, we will get separation of Starship and Super Heavy and ignition of the Starship engines. When Starship separates, we light up 6 engines in a staggered sequence. And if all goes well, those 6 engines will burn for almost 6.5 minutes. Onboard view from Starship. And there's views of the Raptor engines on the second stage as we prepare for stage separation. Now, after stage separation, the first stage will flip and begin a boost back maneuver for landing in the Gulf. Continuing to fly, 2 minutes 40 seconds. Let's get ready for main engine cutoff.
Booster engine cutoff.
Beginning the flip for stage separation.
As of right now, we are awaiting stage separation, where Starship should separate from the Super Heavy booster.
Yeah, Kate, right now it looks like we saw the start of the flip, but obviously we're seeing from the ground cameras the entire Starship stack continuing to rotate. We should have had separation by now. Obviously, this is does not appear to be a nominal situation.
Yeah, it does appear to be spinning, but I do want to remind everyone that everything after clearing the tower was icing on the cake. And there, as you saw, as we promised, an exciting end to the Starship inaugural integrated test flight.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Liftoff normal.
And the PSLV-C55 has lifted off, flying past the tufts of clouds.
P2 tracking.
भव्य नजारा PSLV-C55 का सफलतापूर्ण उत्थापन। PSLV-C55 प्रमोचक यान अपने निर्दिष्ट कक्षा की ओर अग्रसर। दर्शकों का उत्साह, यान के कंपन सब हम यहां महसूस कर रहे हैं। यह बहुत उत्साहवर्धक होता है। यान पूरी तरह सामान्य और अपने उद्दिष्ट कक्षा की ओर बढ़ रहा है।
The S-139 motor, PS-1, developing nominal thrust of 4,800 kilonewtons.
SHA-2 is in main auto.
Plus 1 minute.
पहले चरण के प्रज्वलन के दौरान रॉकेट वायुगतिक यानी एरोडायनामिक संरचनात्मक और नियंत्रण तंत्र की दृष्टि से बहुत कठिन परिस्थितियों से गुजर रहा होता है।
First stage performance normal.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engine full power. And liftoff of Starlink 3-5. Go Falcon, go Starlink.
Vehicle is pitching downrange. Stage 1 chamber pressure is nominal.
At T plus 30 seconds, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Vandenberg Space Launch Complex 4 East at 6:40 a.m. Pacific Time.
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
Minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition, engine full power, and go! Falcon 9 and SES-03B M-Power.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
Vehicle's pitching downrange.
Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off of Pad 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, carrying the O3B M-Power payload. During ascent, we tilt the engines, technically called gimbling, and this turns the rocket horizontally in what we call a gravity turn.
Supersonic.
You heard that call out that the vehicle is now supersonic, and we will be throttling the engines down in preparation for max Q, or maximum aerodynamic pressure, in just a couple seconds.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power. And liftoff of Viasat 3. Go Viasat, go Falcon Heavy.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
M1D chamber pressure is nominal.
We are 30 seconds into flight under the power of 5 million pounds of thrust. Falcon Heavy is headed to space. Now we are throttling down our engines on those side boosters, and that's in preparation for max Q.
Power into telemetry nominal.
Max Q is the moment of peak mechanical stress.
Falcon Heavy is supersonic.
Peak mechanical stress on the vehicle, so we do slow down the vehicle to get through this period of high stress. And once we pass through max Q, we will throttle those engines back up on those side boosters.
Max Q.
And great call out, we have passed through max Q. So we're gonna throttle up those engines again on these side boosters.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. And liftoff of Starlink 5-6. Go Starlink, go Falcon.
Vehicle's pitching downrange.
At T plus 30 seconds, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral, Florida at 3:31 a.m. Pacific Eastern Time. The next major milestone coming up is max Q, which is when the vehicle experiences the greatest amount of external stresses as it ascends through the Earth's atmosphere during its flight today.
MOD chamber pressures are nominal. Falcon 9 is supersonic.
Falcon 9 is now supersonic, meaning it is traveling faster than the speed of sound.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
HVB discharge is nominal.
Electron is soaring through the sky right now after lifting off from Pad B at Launch Complex 1, now on its way to low Earth orbit for NASA and Tropics. The first launch milestone the rocket will pass through is max Q, when the forces against Electron are at their peak as the rocket moves quickly through the atmosphere. Mission Control is expected to call that out on the net shortly.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power. And liftoff of Starlink. Go Starlink, go Falcon.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
M1D chamber pressure is nominal.
At T plus 30 seconds, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Space Launch Complex 4 East at 1:09 p.m. Pacific Time.
Power and telemetry are nominal.
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
And as you just heard, Falcon 9 is now supersonic, meaning that it is traveling faster than the speed of sound.
T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
At T plus 35 seconds, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Space Launch Complex 40 from Cape Canaveral, Florida at 1:03 a.m. Eastern Time. The next major milestone coming up is max Q,
Power and telemetry nominal.
which is when the vehicle experiences the greatest amount of external stresses as it ascends through the Earth's atmosphere.
Vehicle supersonic.
With that call out, we hear that Falcon 9 is traveling faster than the speed of sound.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition and liftoff. Go Falcon, go Starlink.
M1D chamber pressure nominal.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
At
At T plus 30 seconds, F9 has successfully lifted off from Slick 40 at Cape Canaveral, Florida at 1:31 a.m. Eastern Time. The next major milestone coming up is max Q, which is when the vehicle experiences the greatest amount of external stress as it ascends through the Earth's atmosphere.
Vehicle supersonic.
You just heard that Falcon 9 is now supersonic, which means it's traveling faster than the speed of sound.
Max Q.
And there's that call out for max Q, which again is when the rocket experiences the largest amount of external stress.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Full power. Liftoff of Ariane OneWeb.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
M1D chamber pressure is nominal.
Successful liftoff of Falcon 9 from Space Launch Complex 4 East at the Vandenberg Space Force Base. We're carrying the Iridium OneWeb satellites into orbit. We've begun gimbaling the engines on the first stage. Gimbaling is really just tilting the engines.
Telemetry nominal.
We've begun what's called a gravity turn. So we're letting gravity help pull the rocket to go sideways. We need to be going fast horizontally to get into orbit. We actually just got through the throttle bucket.
Vehicle supersonic.
Throttle bucket being where we've throttled down the Merlin 1D engines in preparation for max Q. That's the point of highest stresses on the vehicle.
Max Q.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power. And liftoff, Falcon 9. Go Axiom.
H1 Alpha.
Copy, 1 Alpha. Together we expand what is possible in low Earth orbit. Ad Astra and Godspeed AX2.
Plus 30 seconds into this historic. T plus 36 seconds into flight. A great view of Falcon 9 heading to space.
Power telemetry is nominal. Stage 1 throttle down.
Power telemetry nominal. We're into the throttle bucket. The first stage is throttle down power on the Merlin engines in preparation for max Q.
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
Faster than the speed of sound as we're getting great views from the first stage camera looking back at Kennedy Space Center and Complex 39A.
Stage 1 throttle up.
Max Q.
Предварительная. Промежуточная. Главная. Подъем. Прошел контакт подъема. Двигатели центрального и боковых блоков ракеты-носителя вышли на режим главной ступени тяги. 10. Параметры системы управления ракеты-носителя в норме. 15. 20. Двигатели первой и второй ступени работают нормально. 25. 30. Параметры конструкции ракеты-носителя в норме. 40. Стабилизация изделия устойчивая. 50. Давление в камерах двигателей в норме. 60. Тангаж, рыскание, вращение в норме.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
HVB discharge nominal.
And that is a beautiful liftoff for Electron. The final 2 trophic satellites are on their way and coming to a storm near you. With Electron now having cleared the pad, the next milestone is max Q. This is the point where the forces on Electron are at their greatest. So we'll listen out for clearance of that key moment from mission control soon.
Max Q.
Пуск. Зажигание. Предварительно.
Секунд. Параметры системы управления ракеты-носителя в норме. «20 секунд. Двигатели первой и второй ступени работают нормально. 30 секунд. Параметры конструкции ракеты-носителя в норме. 40 секунд. Стабилизация изделия устойчивая. 50 секунд. Давление в камерах сгорания двигателей ракеты-носителя в норме. 60 секунд. Полет нормальный.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition, and liftoff. Go Falcon, go AirSat. Vehicle pitching downrange. H-1 engine chambers, pressures are nominal.
Moving through the clouds there, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from pad 40. Coming up next, we'll throttle down the 9 Merlin engines on the first stage to prepare for max Q at about T plus 1 minute and 12 seconds.
Power and telemetry nominal.
Vehicles on the right track. Now, as you may already know, max Q is the period of flight with the highest amount of aerodynamic pressures, so it's one of the critical flight milestones we're tracking. Again, we expect that here in just about 10 seconds. And with that call out, we hear that Falcon 9 is moving faster than the speed of sound.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Plus 5 seconds.
Lift off normal.
प्रज्वलन और सफलतापूर्ण उत्थापन GSLV F12 का चारों L40s तथा कोर बूस्टर S139 अपना सामान्य निष्पादन करते हुए उद्देश्य कक्षा की ओर अग्रसर.
Nominal launch of the GSLV F12 mission. The rocket flying by spewing fire into the clear sky of Sriharikota. GS1 and L40s together thrusting currently. The Shah ground station is currently tracking.
is in minute of
वर्तमान में प्रथम चरण प्रज्वलित है। इसका कार्यकाल लगभग 110 सेकंड का होगा। इसमें 4800 किलोन्यूटन का प्रणोद उत्पन्न होता है।
P2 change over to SCBT2.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Engines full power. And liftoff of Starlink 2-10. Go Falcon, go Starlink.
Vehicles pitching downrange. Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
At T plus 33 seconds, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Space Launch Complex 4 East at Vandenberg Space Force Base in California at 11:02 p.m. Pacific Time. The next major milestone coming up is Max Q.
Power and telemetry is nominal.
Max Q is when the vehicle experiences the greatest amount of external stress as it ascends through the Earth's atmosphere.
Vehicle supersonic.
Just heard a call out that Falcon 9 is now traveling faster than the speed of sound. Coming up next, we should hear that call out for Max Q.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Engines full power and liftoff of Starlink 6-4. Go Starlink, go Falcon.
Falcon 9, pitching downrange.
Stage 1 chamber pressure nominal.
At T plus 30 seconds, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Space Launch Complex 40 from Cape Canaveral, Florida at 5:56 a.m. Eastern Time. The next major milestone coming up is Max Q, which is when the vehicle experiences the greatest amount of external stresses as it ascends through the Earth's atmosphere.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition, engines full power, and liftoff of CRS-28. Go Falcon, go Dragon.
Liftoff of about 7,000 pounds of science and cargo, including a new pair of solar arrays to boost power on the space station.
Plus 40 seconds, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from historic Launch Complex 39A in Florida. And we're now coming up on Max Q in about 20 seconds from now. And this is the point of maximum aerodynamic pressure that the vehicle will go through during its flight.
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
And there's that call out that Falcon 9 is supersonic, traveling faster than the speed of sound.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition, engines full power, and liftoff of Starlink 5-11. Go Falcon, go Starlink.
Falcon 9 is pitching downrange. Stage 1 chamber pressure is nominal.
At T plus 30 seconds, F9 has successfully lifted off from Slick 40 at the Cape at 3:10 a.m. Eastern Time.
Nominal power and telemetry.
F9 is currently going through the throttle bucket, which is when we throttle down the 9 M1D engines in preparation for max Q.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power. And liftoff of Transporter 8. Go Falcon, go Transporter.
Falcon 9 is pitching downrange. Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
We are T plus 35 seconds into flight. Falcon 9 has cleared the tower at Space Launch Complex 4 East. We are currently throttling down the engines in preparation.
Nominal.
In preparation for max Q, and great view you can see there on your screen of the vehicle. Max Q is the point
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
Max Q is the point of maximum aerodynamic stress that the vehicle will see on ascent.
Max Q.
And great timing, we have just passed through max Q. Now we do have 5 events coming up in quick succession. That will be MECO, stage separation, stage 1 flip, SES-1, and then the start of the boost back burn on the first stage.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. And liftoff. Go Falcon, go PSL.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
That incredible view means that Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from pad 40. And right now we are throttling down to prepare for max Q in about 30 seconds. As you may have heard us explain before, this is the period of highest aerodynamic pressure on the vehicle.
Power and telemetry nominal.
That's because at this point, we are seeing the greatest difference in dynamic pressure, which is increasing with the rocket's speed, and ambient static pressure, which is decreasing as we move up through the Earth's atmosphere.
Vehicle is supersonic.
With that call out, we know that Falcon 9 is moving faster than the speed of sound.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition, engines full power, and liftoff. Go Falcon, go Starlink.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
M1D chamber pressure is nominal.
At T plus 30 seconds, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Slick 4E from Vandenberg Space Force Base in California at 12:19 a.m. Pacific Time. Now, the next major milestone coming up is max Q, which is when the vehicle experiences the greatest amount of external stresses as it ascends through the Earth's atmosphere. We should hear that call out for max Q in about 10 seconds from now.
15 seconds.
Roll for ignition.
10.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. We have ignition. 3, 2, 1. And liftoff of the United Launch Alliance Delta IV Heavy rocket, carrying NROL 68 for the National Reconnaissance Office.
Vehicle has now begun the pitchover maneuver. Now 25 seconds into flight, vehicle performance looks nominal.
Rob
booster is
Kesselman
now
providing
slightly
launch
down.
vehicle ascent data.
Core booster has now reached the desired partial thrust level. Vehicle performance continues to look good. We are now 5 miles in altitude, 5.8 miles downrange distance.
T minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition, and liftoff. Go Falcon, go Starlink.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
At T plus 30 seconds, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Space Launch Complex 40 from the Cape at 11:35 a.m. Eastern Time.
Power and telemetry nominal.
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
We just heard that Falcon 9 is supersonic, which means the vehicle is now traveling faster than the speed of sound.
Предварительное. Промежуточное. Главное. Подъем. Двигатели центрального и боковых блоков вышли на режим главной турбины. 10 секунд. Параметры системы управления ракеты-носителя в норме. 20 секунд. Двигатели первой и второй ступени работают на